Hey everyone, welcome to the vegan experiment. Today we'll be making chili, and the ingredients that I got for this came from Walmart, which is pretty much the most affordable and accessible place that's nationwide. And the ingredients that I got are store brand, so nothing fancy. Today I'm going to try to mix it all together and have it taste really good. The amount of food that I'll be making today is about for 4 to 6 servings. I usually cook that way, so then the next day for lunch I can just heat it up and have that to eat, so I don't have to go to the work of fully cooking something again. And then if I tend to make a whole lot of food, or if you tend to make a whole lot of food, you can just put it in the freezer if you want to. It'll stay good for a couple weeks. And that way you don't have to eat chili for 3 days in a row. So yeah, let's get started. So here are the spices and the canned food that we're gonna use. And here's the produce that I'll be using in the chili. I have a potato, corn, a green bell pepper, a carrot, which I peeled. These onions right here were already cut up actually from another recipe. Never throw anything away. Try to make sure to use it, just, save in general. And then of course, an onion half that wasn't cut up that I need to use as well. A secret for not having onions make you cry is to, after you have it cut in half, you can run it under cold water for a little bit, and that'll actually help. It's good to remember the smaller that you cut your produce, the quicker that it will cook. Just keep that in mind. Also, this is the produce that I'm using. Feel free to use whatever produce sounds good to you. This is just what I like. If you have something that you do like that you don't see here, then add it. And of course, you can always experiment. Okay, so that's good for the produce that I will be cutting up. Remember, there is the corn, but I won't be actually put that into the pot yet. All right, now I'm gonna put everything I cut up into the pot. And you can, of course, put oil into it if you want. You can saute the onion, but all I'm gonna do is grab a splash of water, and that way the vegetables don't stick to the bottom. Looks good. And I'm going to turn the temperature onto medium. It's good at this time to put in the garlic. If you want to be a little more fancy, you can put the garlic and onions in first just by themselves with a little bit of oil. And you can nicely saute them, but this is the fastest and cheaper way. So I like to use a lot of garlic. If you don't know your preferences, start small and work your way up. As you get the ingredients together, you can actually taste the food while you're making it and figure out if you need to add more of anything. So while that cooks, I'm going to drain the beans and rinse them. I had these 4 cans of beans total, the 2 dark kidney beans and 2 black beans. I just use 2 for now. That's what this looks like. And if I need more, I'll use more. All right, so now it's been cooking for a little bit and the onions are a little bit translucent. That's how you can tell basically done. I don't have to wait until they're completely softened up because they'll be cooking in the chili overall. Now that the vegetables are done sauteing, I'm going to add diced tomatoes in the tomato juice. There's some tomato paste. Even though this is not a store-bought brand, it was the cheapest and was on sale, so just make sure to look out for that as well. And I'm just going to use half of the can, which that looks good actually. So after I have that mixed in, I'm going to add vegetable broth, which I have better than bouillon. This was actually the cheapest I can find. You can also find them in cartons, and sometimes those might be cheaper. So as it says on the lid, you do 1 tablespoon for 1 8-ounce can of broth. So I'm just gonna do about that much for now, and I might add more later. You can always add more ingredients, but you can never take them out. I am going to then add my 8 ounces of water, also known as 1 cup. And I'm just gonna try to pour it in here and try to get all the bouillon out. Stir that all together. I'm gonna continue to have the heat a little bit like on medium, just a little bit over medium, just to make sure that the carrots and potatoes get fully cooked. I'm going to add the spices, of course, chili powder, and I'm going to use about half a teaspoon for now. I would suggest if you can, hold it in one hand like this and pour it out into it. That way if it dumps into your hand, or you can do it over a plate or something too. And I'm just gonna leave that out still. Of course, I can always add more. I have cumin next, and I'm just gonna add a couple shakes. I'd probably say like maybe a half, yeah. And I'm also gonna leave that one out. Usually I like to put my ingredients away as I use them. But when it comes to spices, I leave them out just so I can add more in if I like. Okay, and then next I'm gonna add is paprika. I'll use about 1/4 of a teaspoon for that. And then this is cayenne pepper. You don't have to do this if you don't like spicy things. I like spicy food, but I'm still just gonna start off with just a pinch. All right, and then I'm going to add, of course, some salt and pepper. Here's some pepper, fancy pepper I have. It's not the cheapest you can get in the world, so I apologize for that. Always measure out your salt first. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna add some more of that vegetable broth. So again, a teaspoon for every 8 ounces or 1 cup. Okay, so it's cooked for half an hour now. I've added some more water throughout the process. The potatoes are now finally done, which you can tell taking a fork. A way to make it go faster than taking half an hour is if you put a lid on it, or you could just simply not put potatoes in it in the first place and the chili would be done as soon as basically everything's warm. So now that the potatoes are done, I'm going to add these beans and we'll see if 2 cans is good or if I need to add more. It looks pretty good. I guess I could add more if I really wanted to, but this looks good. One other thing I'm gonna add to it is cocoa powder. And this will just give it a deeper flavor. And I'm just gonna add about, I guess it's like 2 teaspoons. I turn it down to simmer a little bit. I'm just putting it just under medium heat. All right, now I'm gonna grab a spoon and taste it. I think that's one of the most important parts about cooking is that you taste it as you go. It needs a little bit something more, so I'm gonna add a little bit more of my favorite spice, not joking, cayenne pepper. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of chili powder as well, about 1/4 teaspoon. Also some cumin, and I'll put just, I'll go for 4. And add some garlic powder. And then I have one more ingredient I need to add. I'll taste this again, but first I'm going to put the corn in it, if you remember that. And the reason I didn't put it in to begin with and then adding to the end so that it just has a nice, crisp, fresh taste to it. And add about 1 cup of it. There we go. It'll breathe some nice color into it too. Honestly, your dish, if it looks good to you, it usually tastes good. Go ahead and taste this again. I might add some more water to it. So since I've been adding more water, I'm going to add tomato paste, just about a tablespoon more, about that much. A little bit more water, about 1/2 cup, 1/3 cup. Gonna taste it one more time. And that's really good. All right, so here we go. Some chili. I know it's not quite the time of year for chili yet, but it just sounded good to me, so I went ahead and went for it. This is actually the first time that I put potatoes in chili, so it's kind of an experiment for me. It took longer than I would have liked, but hopefully see if it's worth it. I bet it's gonna be a lot more filling. All right, so let's try it out. Make sure to get a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's really good. The cocoa powder did a really good job making it kind of more earthy, which is what I like, and making a deeper taste. All the spices are well balanced. Textures are really good. The potatoes are really good in it. Highly suggest it. I usually sometimes like to put like saltine crackers in it sometimes. There is vegan sour cream and vegan cheese if you want to put in that. That's not my preference. Also, those tend to be a little more pricey. If you want to cool it down, you can use like the crackers like I mentioned before. If you want something a little more creamy-ish, I guess you could add like avocados if you want. Avocados you can find cheaper avocados. But yeah, or you can just add less spice. Oh, it's really good, and I'll definitely be having this again. If you have a different ingredient suggestion, a different recipe that you want me to try out, please let me know. This is an experiment for all of us. If there's anything in this recipe that would be too expensive for you or not available to you, or if it just will end up taking too long, please let me know and I'll try to find a better way to do this recipe for your needs. That's what this is all about. It's a vegan experiment. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.